All right, we're back.
All right.
Okay.
Principal photography, production.
Yep. So now we've planned everything. Hopefully you've covered everything. You've gotten all the elements in place so that you're feel like you're in good shape and you're ready to go to camera. Now, this is the fun part. Okay. When people talk about filmmaking, they talk about this part, production, principal photography. This is the making of the movie. This is when you're actually shooting the movie. All right. They never talk about planning it or about all the other stuff we talked about. This is the fun part. All right. Now, it's fun and it's a ton of work. And you ask filmmakers, they say like it is exhausting to do principal photography because it's long days and it's a lot of work. But for me, it's the fun part. I like it. I mean, it's all leads up to that. So what happens? Basically, you've gotten all your elements. So you've got all your equipment, your crew, your cast, you got everything prepared to shoot. But you also have the schedule. Remember, we said we scheduled the shoot a certain way so we know what we're trying to shoot on those days. So we know what days we're shooting what scenes. So, and by the way, during pre-production, you redo your schedule probably 3 or 4 more times just to make sure you've fine-tuned everything and thought of absolutely everything. So the big question always is when you're scheduling and when you're shooting. Okay, before I say what I'm about to say, the most important thing is you have to make a good movie. All right. You have to get good performances. You have to be well lit. You have to need good camera angles. You need good sound. You need to make a good movie. Okay. So people always say, Jeff, you never talk about the movie. I do. You have to make a good movie. I'm assuming that you're going to make a good movie. I'm assuming everybody knows what they're doing. But now I'm going to get into the stuff that people don't talk about.
Well, what goes into a good movie?
Great performances from your actors, great cinematography from your camera people, great directing from your directors, having just a vision as to what angles and how the shot should work, good lighting from your lighting people, and really good sound from your sound people. That's what makes a good movie. All right. And obviously starts with a good story.
Mm-hmm.
Then ultimately you're going to edit it together. So you need good editing, good sound, good music, all this kind of stuff to finish it all off. But that's the art of filmmaking. The artistic stuff is what makes a great movie.
Okay.
So you have a great story and you're just going to tell the story really nicely in a way that's super engaging. Because there's so many different ways like I said earlier, what angle are you going to, the football scene, you're going to come in from on top with a drone or a crane, maybe, or you're going to take it from low, like, when they're snapping the ball. Do you take that from the low angle of the snap where the ball is? Do you take it from above? Do you take it from the sidelines? Do you take it from the quarterback's point of view? I mean, there's so many ways to tell that one shot, the snap of the ball. So many ways. Now you might try 3 or 4 ways, but which one do you use? And does the director have the vision as to how he wants it? Do you take it in slow motion? Do you take it quick? What sound effect? There's so many ways to tell these things. All right. So that's what makes a great movie is how you tell it. And how you capture it and how you just artistically, basically how you've captured that and told it to audiences. That's the art of storytelling. It's the art of filmmaking.
Okay.
So what makes a great movie is all artistic. There's no producing. A good producer doesn't make a great movie. A good director makes a great movie. A good producer has everything in place and enables a director to be able to tell a great story. And that's why directors are so much more celebrated than producers. I don't think they should be. I mean, artistically, of course they should be. Mm-hmm. But producers create all the environment in order to enable the artistic team to tell the great story. So let's talk about, like, you're going to be a producer. Let's talk about the other elements that you're going to have to think about. So the number one thing, if you want to be a commercially viable filmmaker producer, is you got to stay on time and on budget when you shoot. On time and on budget. Meaning you have maybe planned 20 days to shoot your movie. You got to shoot it in 20 days. Okay, not 21, not 22, 20 days. Not 19 even. You don't want to shortchange yourself. And you got to shoot it. If you have, say, remember, the $1 million is to make the whole movie. But you're not going to spend it all during production. You might spend, say, $600,000-$700,000 of it. All right. Because the other 300,000 you have to spend afterwards to edit it and get the movie all together. So you're going to deploy, let's say you spend 100,000 in pre-production. You're going to deploy $600,000 a day in 20 days. That's $30,000 a day. A lot of money is going to be going through very, very quickly. And it's very easy to go over budget. It's very easy to lose track of that expenditures and start spending more and more and more. And typically you will hear the horror stories, of which there are many, many, many of indie films going over budget. I would say it's typical that an indie film goes over budget, but it's not good. You are not going to do that because you're going to be well planned and you're going to be disciplined. So the reason you don't want to go over budget is because you can only sell your movie for so much money. Well, first of all, you don't have extra money. You only raised $1 million. So if you go over budget, you're not going to be able to finish your movie. You're not going to be able to necessarily get more money. And secondly, you've pre-planned already how much, you potentially have forecasted you're going to sell it for and how much you're going to make it for. And you've already committed this to your investors and that type of thing. So you want to stay on budget. You want to be like any business person, you want to be a responsible business person and do what you said you were going to do. And you said you're going to make your movie for this amount of money. Do it. Just do it. Okay. Which involves a lot of discipline, planning, and knowing how to say no to things that are going to take you over budget. All right. So it's just management. It's knowing when to green light certain things and when to put a stop to other things. Now, the key relationship to that, to staying on time and on budget, is a good relationship between the producer and the director. The producer's role is to make sure to enable the director to make the best movie possible within the time and money that you have available. That's the producer's role. The director's role is just to make the best movie possible. They're generally not thinking about the time and money that you have available. The producer has to keep their eye on that ball.
Okay.
So sometimes it's a bit of right? The director says, I need more time to get this. You said I want the best movie possible. I need more time to get it. And the producer has to say, no, I said, yes, I want the best movie possible. But what I actually said was, I want the best movie possible within the means that we have.
Right.
We don't have unlimited means. Mm-hmm. So within this time frame and this amount of money. And the director will say, well, if I had a little bit more time and a little bit more money, I could do better. And I said, of course you could, but we don't have more time and money. So do the best you can within those means. And this happens all the time. But if you can establish, if a producer and a director can be like this, then you get a great product, okay, as opposed to this. Because you don't want conflict, you want harmony.
Right.
And so the director is very, very focused on the artistic endeavor and sometimes loses sight of the financial side of it. And a good producer will understand that they're very focused on making a great movie, which they should be. And they have to kind of hold their hand through the whole idea that they have to do it within the means available. That's the relationship. Single most important relationship on set for sure. All right. Then obviously the actors and the director and all this, these are all important too. But staying on time and on budget is very critical for low budget indie films, as it is for any film, any business, but certainly for low budget, because you run out of money, you don't finish your film. So what's the point of going over when you're not going to be able to finish your film? And sometimes the directors just lose sight of that.
It seems like it'd be a difficult thing to be a producer and a director in the same film.
So it's like having sort of the devil and the angel on your shoulders. You have to be, you always have to keep, it's the difference between, say, your heart and your brain.
Yeah.
Your heart is the artistic side of you saying,
want to finish.
Yeah, let's just do this a little bit bigger. Let's take a little bit more time. My heart is telling me the passion, right? And then your brain is saying, no, we're going to go over budget. We're not going to, we're going to run out of money. We're going to run out of time, blah, blah, blah. And so it's that yin and yang thing going on. And, you can do it, but you got to be very disciplined and very in touch with the whole process. You have to always keep the perspective. Keep the balance. If you're producer director, you always have to keep the balance. If you're the producer, you have to keep the balance because the director generally won't. The director tends to be more passionate, more focused, more artistic, which is what you want, but within the means you have.